for my viewers and my listeners listening, we're like he just said, one of his values is that bluntness, that candor. It's the same thing with me too. It's not about what you want to hear, is what you need to know
Right.
in order to grow. And so one of the things that you will hear and or see if it's social media all the time is I got burnt, or treat me this way, or that contract sucked, or all these different things from one side. And as a individual who empowers people and use legal protection as one of the avenues, I definitely protect those on that side, but you also have to educate them. And
Yeah.
with that said, Saheed, like you brought this to the table. Now, when you're dealing with these creatives, artists, and all these other people on the other side, are those values always reciprocated to you? The trust, the
Oh,
loyalty.
yeah. Blunt Christmas is no. Okay. Yeah, it's a no. But to be honest with you, um, I kind of feel that's not just peculiar to our industry. Okay, in general, it's one of the most challenging characters, that individuals face across all sectors. But what makes it more challenging within our industry is the fact that we've got a lot more to do with showcasing whatever it is that we're doing, or whatever process of our networks are to the world, and it's so much quicker and faster compared to other industries. So people can really tell when your network or your talent or your creative isn't actually as loyal, dedicated to what it is that you actually get to present, because people see you, and then when they get to see the creative and expect certain deliverables off of them, they're not seeing the same mirrored character.
Absolutely.
You understand? So yeah, but the response is a no. I mean, yeah, you don't get it.
And that's why it was important to bring it up. You're right that there's some things that come along with these industries, but when you have the individuals who are doing the complaining, the sulking, the this, the that, what they have to do is put a mirror in front of themselves and
Mhm.
say, okay, I'm out here saying everyone's dogging me. I'm put in a bad situation. I'm getting taken advantage of. All these things that you're saying, but are you bringing the values to the table when
Right.
you meet individuals that are in this industry that have these type of values? So we got to make sure we have that mirror up. And for me doing this for years, and like I said, protecting people, individuals, I've also seen those who ask to be protected
Right.
are the very ones who do the things that they don't want done to them. And so
Correct.
we have to be very honest about this. If you're on a
Yeah.
side that you're talking about, woe is me, and you don't want things done, you really
Hmm.
have to assess yourself to see if you're someone doing that. Now, you brought up a good point too. You said network. This is the second time. I want to go back. I'm gonna tie it in because, like you said, when
Hmm.
you graduated college,
Yes.
got this great opportunity. But that
Right.
opportunity wasn't just because of a degree in college. It was because
Now.
you had an interaction. You
Yes.
had an interaction where someone was able to see your value, your worth, right?
Right.
So when we talk about network, it's more than about who you know, it's who knows you. So even if
Correct.
we're talking about going to college and doing all these different things, it's about taking advantage of those platforms that you're dealing with. And college is not just about put your head down, get a 3.9.
Hmm.
Education is extremely important because you want to grab it. But
Right.
while you're in
Right.
college, don't keep your head down so much that you do not connect with people and be
Right.
able to showcase your
Right.
tangibles of what you can do. So it's the same thing in real life.
Hmm.
While we out here and we have talents and gifts and we're saying we got this and that, if no one knows it exists, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And then just because you know someone else exists, it's not just about blowing them up. It's about having a network so they know you exist. So talk about this because you said the interactions. It's about the network. What is your experience from that? With being able to go forward or being stopped when we talk
Mhm.
about something like that?
Yeah. So just to and this is just personal opinion of mine. Now, it's not really about taking advantage, because sometimes that could also be misunderstood or misinterpreted when you use the word take advantage
Advantage.
of.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But rather for me, it's really just leveraging your network.
I like it.
You know what I'm saying?
I like it.
So yeah, I mean, network is everything. Doesn't matter at what point in life that you attained. I mean, you might be starting out, you might be at the mid level of your success story, or you might even be at the presumed peak of your success story. At the end of the day, it's still all about your network that actually determines, how far you're going to go, because no man actually is an island, right? But really, for me, networking basically starts from the very minute you're clear on what it is that you're trying to do. Okay, if you basically just want to hang in there just on the premise of, hey, I just want to have people I can reach out to for information, that defines the kind of network that you actually put in that portfolio. If you're talking about, hey, you know what, I'm an entrepreneur, or I want to be an entrepreneurial goal, I want to be within the sector. For example, we in the entertainment sector, I'm also involved in the public sector. you know that defines the kind of networks that I actually reach out to.
Okay.
Now, in the course of reaching out to those networks, you actually also come to understand that there are some who are basically just going to be there to serve as networks to source networks. You understand? And you have those who are actually networks that would really assist in executing things that you're trying to do. For example, your typical example, you one of my networks, where what a lot of your listeners now might not know is you are my legal rep, but at the same time, over the last couple of years that we've known each other, I've actually come to also now put you in the network of my advisory council outside of just the legal representation. So if I actually have certain ideas or certain decisions I'm trying to make outside of legal decision, because I see your depth of exposure, your depth of understanding, and your critical evaluation of things outside of just legal engagement, I consider, you know what, I got to talk to Ella.
Right.
You understand? So as you continue to explore your network from the definition of exactly what it is that you're trying to do, I feel you begin to define more and then actually categorize all of these networks for you to be able to see exactly how best to maximize. But you can't overrule how important it is that those network either connects you to the resource that you need to actually solve certain problems that you're trying to address, or that those new set of networks comes to actually create opportunities for you to actually explore within the industry that you're not even informed about does exist within your industry.
Absolutely. And I
Yeah.
like that you pinpointed the word leverage because you're right. And I
Hmm.
always say this, especially as someone who have to, their work is based on words. Words are everything. And
Right.
you're right. Someone can hear take advantage of and take that as, oh, take advantage. But
Right.
leverage
Yeah.
keeps that respect in
Yeah.
there. Leverage keep all those values that we were actually talking about in there. Leverage
Correct.
also um, enforces accountability. To leverage
Yeah.
something, you have to understand what you even have. So to
Right.
understand the word leverage, you're balancing something there. You like,
Right.
so absolutely,
Right.
I'm happy you point that out. We're gonna get to the Diaspora conversation, and I'm going to build up to that because this is really important. We had this conversation. We're not going to give too much away in this conversation because you're a visionary. You have this huge
Yeah.
vision on something, but we're going to drill it down and talk about some of the things that, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Some of the things that we
Right.
even got to realize that possibly we don't know we're contributing to, or
Yeah.
possibly we do. Like when we talk, some people do know what they're doing, keep it down. But
Right.
before we get there, if you see me looking down to my viewers,
Mhm.
I am writing
Mhm.
down keywords that Sahid is saying. Anytime we have someone that comes on and speak, I write down these keywords that they drop. These are nuggets. And I advise you too, if you're not listening on just a major streaming platform, but you're sitting down watching, don't just watch this. Get a notebook and take down some notes. Like take down notes to move forward.